So thank you, Amber. Like she said, my name is Mikey. I'm a dietitian over in Dallas. I'm currently working mostly with obesity, an outpatient clinic where kids come to see me about once a month, and we work on lifestyle changes, how to get to a good, healthy weight. I see kids from anywhere from 9 months old, no kidding, obesity at 9 months, all the way up to age 18. Talk to people from every financial background, every education background, every ethnic background, and kind of what I found is overall people want to be healthy. People want to be at a healthy weight. They want to avoid the high cholesterol, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, but they also want to be able to eat McDonald's and pizza and Takis and everything else, and obviously those two things don't always go together. So what I really want to focus on today is how can you still live the life of a 19-year-old without being unhealthy and really focusing on your lifestyle instead of just following a specific diet. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what are the things that you really need to focus on. Your drinks, what foods you need to eat every day, make sure you get in your body for good health, a healthy way to just build your plate at each meal, slowing down to promote smaller portions, how to enjoy those things like McDonald's and Takis, and physical activity that ultimately you have to move. I mean, it's a big part of it. Even though my focus is on nutrition, I would be remiss to not include something about physical activity. And by the way, I refer to Takis a lot. I'm assuming you all know what those are. Okay. Because y'all are kind of the hot Cheeto generation, and the new, younger ones coming up are more of the Takis. So just making sure that y'all have gotten the memo that hot Cheetos are kind of passe. Okay, so let me go back one. You'll still do hot Cheetos, see, because you're old. Okay. So you'll think you're old until the little 140-pound 5-year-old walks into my office. Okay, so one thing that I really want to impress upon you guys is any diet works. Okay, whether it's low carb, low fat, Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, Slim Fast, whatever, it works as long as you do it. Okay, a big thing, a good example when for some reason maybe they're increasing their advertising. People keep asking me about the Special K diet. Okay, and I've got Special K at home. It's a great product, great cereal. If you eat a bowl of Special K for breakfast, I think lunch is a bowl of Special K or a Special K protein shake or a Special K protein bar. Sensible little dinner, and you get 2 snacks a day, and it's Special K crackers or Special K little pop chips. You'll lose weight, and you will. Okay, you're controlling your intake, and if for the rest of your life you eat Special K foods over 5 times a day, a sensible dinner, you will continue to lose weight and be at a healthy weight. But as soon as your friends go to the movies and everybody gets popcorn instead of Special K pop chips, or you order pizza, or you guys get Chinese food, or you just want to have a sandwich for lunch instead of a bowl of Special K, it's going to stop working. Okay, so my point is there's nothing out there that won't work. If you control your intake, it'll work, but it's just hard. There's really restrictive diets. So a message I really want to drive home today is if instead of trying to follow something specific, like just tell me what to eat every day, just tell me what not to eat, just change the way you're eating it, and you don't have to worry about eating Special K for every meal. Okay, so number 1, it's the first thing that I drive home to everyone every single day. Don't drink your calories. Just, if you can make that change and nothing else, you will be 1,000 times healthier. Amber's back there, show me her water. I drink water. I like it. It's pretty much the only thing I drink. Think about your calorie goals. Now, I'm not here to tell you how many calories you should be eating because that's different for every person, and there's an infinite number of websites out there where you put in your age and your gender and your height and your weight, and it'll tell you how many calories you should eat. But for most people, it's going to come down to about 1,500 to 2,000 calories per day. Ideally, you would be eating 3 meals and 2 snacks every day. And that would mean your meals would be anywhere from 300 to 500 calories, and snacks would be about 100 to 200 calories. If you sit down with your meal and you have a can of soda, or worse yet, a bottle of soda, a Coke, Dr. Pepper, whatever, and you're getting 150 to 250 calories, and you're maybe supposed to have 300 at your meal, well, what are you going to eat? I mean, basically a big bowl of dry lettuce is all you have left over. Why waste your calories? I would rather be chewing on a sandwich or a piece of pizza or some chicken and broccoli or whatever than drinking all those calories. Like I said, it's not easy. I know people say, I have to have my Coke every day. I have to have my Dr. Pepper. I have to have whatever. Find a way to make the change. I mean, if If you want to be healthy, if you want to lose weight, sometimes you do have to sacrifice some things. And the drinks are one place where, to me, it's a no-brainer, but I've always just drank water. So maybe it's a little easier. I can't speak to people that are just addicted to their Coke or their Fanta or whatever it is. But if you really look at the numbers and really think about, would I rather have a cookie with my meal or a Coke? Would I rather have a little bit of extra rice or a Dr. Pepper? And to me, it's just, why bother? Why would you drink those calories? Make that change. Water, of course, like I said, is always best. But sugar-free, calorie-free, diet, zero, Sprite Zero, Coke Zero, even like the Dr. Pepper 10, things like that. They're so low calorie. Crystal Light could be your best friend. If you don't like water, find a way to do a zero-calorie substitute. Now, I'll say ask questions throughout, but I know somebody in their head is thinking, oh, but sugar-free drinks, Diet Cokes cause cancer, and that's worse than having a Coke, because 12 people ask me that every day. Well, let me tell you, this research, the actual scientific research, shows that that stuff is just not true. Okay, yes, if a tiny little mouse had 75 Diet Cokes a day, they might have a risk of brain cancer. Okay? If you're drinking 75 Diet Cokes a day, clearly that's a problem. There's other things at stake here. If you're currently drinking about 4 Cokes a day and you switch them to Diet Cokes, you're not going to get cancer. There's not going to be any adverse effects from drinking that Diet Coke. But if you're drinking 4 Cokes a day and because of that, you're at a higher weight, you're in an unhealthy place. Well, we know that obesity causes diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease. There are cancers that are at higher risk in obese people. We know that. That is scientific fact. Okay? Cancer in lab rats, it's not even that it's still up for debate. It's been disproven. So please don't be afraid of diet drinks. Water is best, but if you just don't like it, have a Crystal Light. You'll be fine. I promise. Now, consider what you have to have every single day. If you get in the top 4 things that I've said, you're probably not going to have room in your stomach for much else. So really think about what you need to put in your body every day. 64 ounces of water, or flavored, whatever. That's just the old 8-ounce cups a day. If you do more, that's great. But if you get yourself a little, I don't know how this is going to work if I bend over. So, I've got my little plastic refillable bottles by Target for $6, whatever. Think about, okay, I have to have, these are 20 ounces each. I need to have about 4 of these a day. Start in the morning, you end at night. Get them in. I drink so much water, and if there's a day at work when I don't get my water in, holy cow, I come home and I'm eating every single thing in the pantry. It's like my body is just wanting something that it's missing, but my brain's not thinking water. My brain is thinking Cheetos, Wheat Thins, handful of cereal, whatever is there that I can get in my body. So really, really, if you're not a water drinker now, you will get so used to it once you start. Okay? It's a gift. It's better for your kidneys, your bowels, your skin. Every single thing will improve if you get in all this water. Now, 3 servings of fruit a day. Okay, I'm amazed when I talk to people, 5-year-old kids, 12-year-old kids, 18-year-olds, whatever. How many servings of fruit do you think you have in a week? Probably 1 or 2. A week? What? It's fruit. Fruit is good. Who doesn't like fruit? It's like candy. Think about every day finding a way to put it in. Breakfast, lunch, snack. You do it at dinner if you want to. It's just a little non-traditional. And also, on 3 servings of fruit, that's really not as much as you think it is. It's about a half a cup per serving. Okay? A grocery store typical banana is about 2 servings. Okay? So 1 banana and you're 2/3 of the way there. A little handful of grapes. Something like an apple or an orange, we want it to be about the size of a tennis ball to be a serving. And it's very hard to find an apple that small these days. So if you're eating one of those typical apples, it's probably 2 servings right there. So if you have a banana with breakfast, a handful of fruit or whatever, grapes, half an apple, whatever at lunch, and you're there, you're done. You've gotten in all the nutrition, the vitamins and minerals that you need from those fruits. Just really, in what your brain thinks is 2 servings. 3 to 5 servings of vegetables or more. Okay, and at the end of this, I'll give you kind of my tip on making vegetables taste better for those of you that don't like them. Typically, people that I know that don't like vegetables, it's because mom and dad they didn't like them either and they didn't really serve them growing up. Or mom and dad really only served canned vegetables, which are fine. But if you've only ever had canned green beans, I can understand maybe why you don't like canned green beans, or any green beans, unless you do like canned green beans. You got to think of some ways to get your vegetables in, okay? Same thing with fruit. It's not as much as you think. a half a cup if it's cooked, a cup if it's raw, because vegetables kind of shrink when all that water comes out of it. It's like a cup of salad could be one of yours. If you have 2 cups, if you do a salad with some tomatoes and cucumbers in it, you're probably at 2 servings there. Do a couple more at dinner, you've got your vegetables in. 3 servings of low-fat or non-fat dairy. I'm always amazed at people, because I love milk, but so many people don't like milk. Okay, yeah, she's making her face right here. Don't like milk. It doesn't have to be milk. It can be low-fat cheese. It can be, I always try to say non-fat yogurt, cottage cheese, any way you can get it in, especially for women. We need that calcium to protect against osteoporosis. But, they're linking calcium to so many other things now, helping with diabetes prevention, increasing vitamin D absorption. So we want to make sure that you're getting that in. Keep in mind with dairy, low or non-fat. Okay, anything from an animal has cholesterol. Anything from a plant does not. Okay, that's why olive oil is healthier than butter. But if it's non-fat, we've taken the fat out. Cholesterol is a fat. There's no more cholesterol. So obviously, I don't have to explain to you guys that we don't want to eat a lot of cholesterol. I mean, that's kind of in our face all the time. So try to do skim milk, non-fat yogurt, non-fat cottage cheese, things like that. If you can't do skim milk, just go down from where you are. If you're at whole milk, go to 2%, 1%, 0.5% skim. Just get there eventually, and you won't notice. I'm always amazed at people that tell me they can't go from 2% to 1%. It's too much of a difference. It's 1%! Like, just 1%! Like, we're not even going to notice. It's all in your brain. And even if it's crazy, like the first time you drink it, by the time you finish that gallon, you won't even notice anymore. If you go back to 2%, it'll taste like cream. So just try to get yourself down there slowly. So now we've got 64 ounces of water, 3 servings of fruit, at least 3 servings of vegetables, 3 servings of dairy that you've eaten in a day. That's a lot of food. That's filling. I haven't addressed Cheetos or candy or Takis or obviously meat or bread. So you have to get in those top 4. Then I just like to think whole grains and lean proteins kind of fill in the blanks. Like I don't expect you to have a grilled cheese without the bread. Yes.
Question. For my kids, I'm taking them off the cow milk and putting them on the almond milk. What is your opinion on?
I think
is it really better as far as the calcium? I know it has more calcium, but as far as health,
it's definitely lower calorie. Almond milk is not going to have any cholesterol at all because even skim milk will still have some trace cholesterol, nothing to worry about. It's definitely lower in calories. A lot of kids with milk allergies can't do milk, and they need to do a soy milk if they can tolerate it, or rice milk or almond milk. So I think that's a fantastic idea. So this is something to try. If it's not something that you can afford in your budget, don't feel like you have to get an almond milk or a soy milk if it's not something you can afford. Cow's milk is okay too. So whatever works for your family, I think is perfect. It's a good idea. Okay. As far as the grain group and the protein group, you just have to make better choices. Do a whole grain bread. Just keep in mind that like honey wheat isn't really whole wheat. Okay, it's got to have that word whole in it. Even like multi-grain can be deceptive. It doesn't necessarily mean it's whole grain. And the thing with grains, I don't know how many of you are more artsy or more science-based. For the artsy ones, the whole grain has 3 parts to it. I don't remember what 3 parts they are, but it's where all the nutrition is. It's that it has the bran, it has the fiber, it has all the B vitamins in it. White products, white bread, white pasta. They basically kind of stripped out the bran, the fiber, and the vitamins, and you're just left with whatever that 3rd part is that I don't remember. It's easier to digest. It doesn't have a whole lot of nutrition in it, but maybe it kind of tastes a little better because it doesn't have all that nutrition, kind of like some of the other things that we eat that don't have a lot of nutrition. So if you're used to white bread, try some of the whole grain whites. I mean, we're lucky that we live in a time where manufacturers are figuring out ways to trick us and put some healthy stuff back in. And so those are fine too. And then on the meats, obviously look for the leaner cuts. Trim the fat off. Don't eat chicken skin. Sorry. It's skin. Like that's not really what we want. We want meat that has protein in it and good vitamins and stuff. Skin doesn't have a whole lot. A little trick on meat, loin, L-O-I-N, and round are good words to look for when you're buying meat. So like tenderloin, sirloin, round, top round. Those round and loin cuts are always going to be the leaner cuts. So if you don't always want to look at the percentages and check out the nutrition label because you're in a hurry, those are some tricks there. Now, consider what you have to eat. I want you to build a little bit better plate, okay? something that we're always trying to encourage our families. Regardless of your political views, I'm excited that our First Lady is really pushing her agendas with healthier eating and increasing fruits and vegetables and increasing exercise, trying to tackle some of this obesity epidemic. And you know, I grew up with a really old pyramid. Y'all grew up with the pyramid with the lines on it. Now they've done away with the pyramid totally, and she's gone to a plate, which I think is a great idea. Her plate has fruits and vegetables, meat and grains. My plate, because I think her plate is great for your average healthy American. I work with kids that are obese, so my plate doesn't have fruit on it because I'm encouraging my kids to have fruit for their snacks, fruit with breakfast. So at lunch and dinner, I prefer that they focus more on vegetables. So nothing against Michelle's plate. I love it. But the plate I encourage would be half a plate of vegetables. Now, I was a little exhaustive on this slide because I just want to make sure everybody knows all the possible vegetable options that are out there. It's like everybody thinks salad and broccoli. There's so many other things. You know, I do see a lot of Hispanic families, and they say, well, yeah, my kids will eat cucumbers, but only if I put chili and lime on it. I'm like, okay, put chili and lime on it. What's wrong with that? I mean, chili's good. It actually increases your metabolism a little bit. Lime's just a fruit, so perfect. However you can get them in. Don't be afraid of a little salt. Don't be afraid of pepper and cumin and cilantro and all these different spices to put on things. And again, I've got a recipe for you at the end. If you haven't tried some of these things, give them a try. If you're 20 years old and you know that you hate some of them, let them go. Don't force it. I hate bell peppers. I will not eat bell peppers. If it comes anywhere near my food, I will not eat the food. I'm 35 years old. No one's going to convince me at this point in my life that I'm going to like bell peppers. But there's enough other things that I like, so that's okay. So don't feel like you have to eat something that you don't like to be healthy. Just try to focus on the things that you do like and eat them in a way that you like them. Now, when you're building your plate, half the plate should be vegetables. A quarter of your plate should be protein. Your meat, your beans, your eggs. And the other quarter should be starch. Rice, pasta, potatoes, bread, tortillas. We do put potatoes and should have added corn. We put corn over in the starch, sorry. Now, obviously, I see kids every single day, and they say, there's no way on the planet my kid is going to eat half a plate of vegetables. And I say, that's okay, but then they only get half a plate of food, okay? Just because I encourage parents to go ahead and serve them. I have a 2-year-old. He won't eat any vegetable on the planet, but he gets them on his plate every night at dinner, and then I eat them when I do the dishes. But they're there, and maybe someday he'll pick one up and eat it. We'll see. But the point is, and he's, if anything, he's underweight because he doesn't eat anything, but if the kid is overweight, I say, that's fine. And if you, mom and dad, you're on a budget and you don't want to just put vegetables there that you're going to throw away, fine, at least do it a few nights a week. And on the other nights, then they only get half a plate of food. The rice and beans can't then take over the other half of the plate, okay? Also, for the Hispanic families that I see, this is hard because where do the rice and beans go? Like, there's rice and beans and meat at every meal. Like, which one is the starch? So what I encourage them, if that's more of your culture, don't deny your culture. Don't not eat your traditional foods. Keep half the plate for vegetables and the other half for whatever else, okay? Because some people might do a mix of foods, or, what if you're having spaghetti? Where does it all go? Half a plate of vegetables, the other plate for everything else, okay? But maybe you don't have to do this for breakfast, because that would be weird. Just think lunch and dinner on this. Okay, slow down. This should be my second slide, but the flow of my conversation just works better the way I've set it up. The first thing should always be calorie-free beverages. The second thing should be slow down. Holy cow, how many of you just eat like this? Yeah, me too. I mean, let's face it, in the morning, you gotta get to school or work. You don't have time. You gotta eat your food as fast as you can, probably in the car. At lunch, I mean, I know that y'all don't get a lot of time for lunch. I don't get a lot of time for lunch. You're eating as fast as you can, just so you can get on to the next thing. Then you get home from work or school, and what do? You just eat as fast as you can to get to the next thing, and there's just no reason for it. I mean, perhaps we've got some homework tests to get to. This is a little different population than I'm used to talking to, but ultimately, there's really no reason to hurry up when you're home, but we all get in that habit. And I found myself, I take a bite, and as I'm chewing, I'm getting the next bite ready, so that as soon as it's down, I can get another one in. And all of a sudden, it's 5-6 minutes, and my food is gone. And it's true, it does take 20 minutes for your brain to know there's food in your stomach, so my brain doesn't even know that there's food in my stomach. And hopefully what I've made tastes wonderful, and I've barely tasted it, and it's gone. And I'm so sad that after 5 or 6 minutes, I'm no longer tasting my food. I want to go get some more so I can keep tasting it, okay? I'm not necessarily still hungry. I've Amber knows my husband, and he gets thrown under the bus a lot at these kind of talks. I'll make a plate of food for him, and we have dinner, and he finishes it so fast, and he goes, I'm going to go get seconds, I'm still hungry. Let's remind ourselves what hungry means. You can't possibly have just eaten a plate of spaghetti and salad and still be hungry. You're not hungry. You're just not full, okay? And we all want to feel full. We all want to have to unbutton our pants. We want to feel like Thanksgiving dinner every single time we eat. Then we feel satisfied. We feel so good and full and satisfied when we feel like that. But it just doesn't have to be that way. And this is hard. I mean, you've got, I'm assuming everybody here is 19 to 22 or so. That's a lot of years of habits to reset. And she says, really? Yeah, I'm 20. No, me either. But this is different. It's easier for me to retrain a 3 or 4-year-old away from that. It's harder for those of us that have been doing this for longer. What we have to remind ourselves is there's always a next meal. Okay? Every time we eat is not the last time we're going to be eating. And we all eat like that. We do it. I do it too. It's like I better get what I can while I can get it and feel full because it might not come again. But back to the 5 meals and 2 snacks every day, there's always something coming. Okay? We need to relearn how at the end of our meal to just be satisfied, to just be not hungry anymore. Okay? Now, here's the tricks. And this goes back to my special K thing. This is going to work if you do it. If you don't do it, it's not going to work. We have to remind ourselves of that. Before you start eating any meal or snack, have a big glass of water. Okay, it's a good way to get part of your 64 ounces in. Then, while you're eating, every time you take a bite, put the food in your mouth, put your fork down, let it go. Chew and swallow, and take a drink of water, and then pick your fork back up and take your next bite and put it down. Okay? Same thing if you're eating like an apple for a snack. Take a bite of your apple and put it down. Chew and swallow. Pick it up and take another bite and put it down. It makes the hugest difference. You'd be amazed. You kind of feel a little kooky doing it, but all of a sudden it's been 10 minutes and only half your food is gone. And you're like, excellent, I still have more to eat. This is awesome. You 15 more minutes and you're just finishing and you're like, holy cow, I can't believe I just took 20, 25 minutes to eat my food. This is awesome. Then when you're done, another big glass of water. Okay, we've got to get your stomach filled with water. We've got to get that food kind of expanding in there, taking up some of that space. Now, wait 10 minutes after those first 3 things. If you still want more food, go get it. Okay? We need your brain to know that you can always eat more if you're actually still hungry. Okay? Now, the goal is that if you've done a glass of water before, you've eaten like in 20 to 25 minutes, then a glass of water after, and you waited 10 minutes, you're probably going to realize A, you're not really that hungry anymore. You're actually kind of full on all that. And B, you might be kind of bored sitting at the table and chewing and doing all that, and you're ready to move on to something else, okay? But if you do still truly want more after all that, go get some more. But start with a glass of water first. Fork down between every bite, glass of water after, wait 10 more minutes. So ultimately, what I tell my families is, your kid can keep eating as long as they want to, but they're probably just not going to want to. It's probably... they're going to lose interest in it, they're going to get full. Yes?
Because I eat stuff like
Good.
that. Even like if I go out to eat, I always bring something out.
Perfect.
But I'm going to do that water and throw a fork down. It's just that I eat slow. I remember somebody telling me that, and I trick myself. Problem is, I skip a lot of meals because I drink soda, and I always feel full. So how do I get my kids to slow down? It's like if I turn my back, it's like...
It's gone. I know, and I hear this every day.
When I turn around, it's like...
So, well,
I don't know where to go.
I know. He has an amazing metabolism. That's one of the most frustrating things is when a parent of an overweight child brings in the sibling also, and the sibling is a beanpole. Oh, I'm sorry. It sucks to be you. That's all I can say. You just got to do these tricks with it. Make it be a game. Just even if you're not, you already eat slow, which is an awesome habit, but you put your fork down between every bite and say, hey, baby, this is a new thing we're doing. And every time you catch me not doing it, you put a bean in the jar or whatever. And every time I make a game out of it, and whoever wins at the end of the meal gets the dollar store toy or whatever it is. Make a game out of it. So, because, how old is he? He's 6. Okay, so if he is truly like skinny, he probably will be for the rest of his life. But it also, things could change. It could catch up with him.
He races.
Yeah. Well, they all do. I know.
Like I tell him, but it's like...
I know. Because I say it every day. So just make a game out of this. Another thing, and again, I mean, this is something you'll read in every magazine, chew your food 20 to 25 times, do that with kids. Making something out of a game for kids is always good, and having a prize at the end of it that's non-food. Not if you eat slow, you get a cookie. If you eat slow, you get this squirt gun or this roll of stickers or whatever. Or we go to walk to the park. I mean, activity is always good. So yeah, just trying to make a game out of it should help. And tell him that he's lucky. And he should be thankful for it. Any questions about this? Because this is big and important. Okay. Treats are all right. Okay, again, with the Takis or the handful of chocolate chips or the Snickers or whatever. Nobody's perfect, okay? And I don't expect you to be, and this is one of those things that we've all heard a million times. If you deprive yourself for too long, then all of a sudden you're just going to give it all up and you're going to binge on something, and that's not okay. With kids, I give them rules. You can have something salty, crunchy once or twice a week. You can have something sweet once or twice a week. But with grown-ups, I mean, a lot of you probably live on your own or you're buying your own food. I mean, you don't want to necessarily put those rules on yourself. So when you're craving something sweet or I want some chips, always have a big cup of water first. Okay, because it's like me when I'm at work and I skip all that water, I come home and I just want a snack. It's usually just because I'm thirsty. So make sure that first your craving isn't actually your brain confusing thirst with a desire for sweet or salty or something that's going to satisfy some other little stimulus that it wants. Then wait 10 minutes. But as you're doing all this, give yourself permission to say, if I still want it, I get to have it, but I just have to do these two things first. Cup of water, wait 10 minutes. Then if you're saying, okay, I still want it, go to the pantry, get whatever your thing is, whether it's a little handful of chocolate chips or 2 cookies or your chips or whatever it is. Don't stand there with the bag. Get out an amount. Go over to your table, your coffee table, wherever it is that you're going to have this snack, and eat it. But put it down between every bite. Eat 1 chocolate chip at a time. My thing is chocolate chip, so I keep going back to that. Eat a bite of your cookie and then put it down. Eat 1 chip and put the bag down. Chew it, swallow it, then go for the next bite. Then your water after, then wait 10 minutes. And if you still want more, go get yourself some more. Because this is really about changing your mindset. It's about giving yourself permission to do these things so that it doesn't feel like, I gotta go eat it while I can because I might not ever get it again. Okay? Give yourself permission. But water, wait, eat it slow, water after, wait again. Because if not, you're going to go nuts. You're going to think you can't ever have those things, and that's not okay. Now, you have to move. Again, I do not have a degree in any of this, but I'm also just not a dingo. I mean, you have to exercise, right? The goal is an hour every single day. Now, I have a 2-year-old, I have all these things. I don't exercise an hour a day, but don't tell anybody. But it would be great if I did, and I should, okay? But when I can't get an hour a day in, I at least try to get 30 minutes. And then adding lifestyle changes, okay? I parked at the W building, and I'm in the S building. I don't even know what that means, except I was outside for a really long time. I didn't do that on purpose, but it would be great if I did. So if you can, just the little things, take the stairs, not the elevator, park further away from the store and walk in. And you know it's hard when it's 110 degrees outside, but it's not hard when it's 83, and you can walk a little further into Target. If you take the bus, that's actually great, because you don't have to take the bus that's closest to or take the stop that's closest to your house. You can get off at a stop earlier or later, or you can get off at the one closer to your house, but walk around the block a few times and then go home. So you don't have to go to a gym. You don't have to join a running club. You don't have to have a treadmill at home or whatever. You just got to start moving more, okay? Now, building up slowly. Nobody expects you to start with an hour a day. That's not even safe. There's no doctor that would recommend that. You start with 20 minutes 3 times a week. I'm going to go walking with my kid. You build up to 25 minutes after 2 weeks. Then you add on another time so that eventually you're getting there. You can break it up. You can do 20-minute walk before school, 20 minutes at lunch, 20 minutes at night. Just trying to get your body moving a little bit more than you are now. Okay, working out towards that hour a day. Now, resources. And I'll tell you why I have the specific ones on here. ChooseMyPlate.gov is Michelle's plate. Obviously, I told you I like her plate. I like mine better for weight management. Oh, go back. But push it down here to advance too, because anyone ever use more. Choose My Plate will also have calorie counters and things like that, where you can put in, like I said, your age, your gender, your height, your weight, and give you a calorie level if you want that to get an idea of how much you should be eating each day. It'll also have recipes. It'll have, if you're a person that says, just tell me what to eat every day. Just give me a 5-day meal plan. It's got a ton of those. Now, I'll caution you, though, it's kind of like the special K thing. Of course, it'll work if you eat that way, but if they've got bell pepper quesadillas on there, I'm not going to eat that. And then I don't know what I'm going to eat for that meal. So just be aware that anything you find like that is wonderful, but it can be hard to stick to. Sparkpeople.com is a similar website. It's free. You have to set up an account, but it's free. And they'll give you recipes and tips. But they also have online workout videos for free that you can access. Same thing with GetSweaty.com, which I'm a little hesitant to put on handouts, but it's legitimate. It's a good website. It's definitely more for kids, but this is something, they'll have like jumping back and forth over a rope or doing burpees or little things. Sometimes, I love workout videos. It's just easier for someone to be telling me how many crunches to be doing instead of me trying to watch Dancing with the Stars and doing 10 and then stopping. What? So, good workout videos that are about 10 to 15 minutes in length that you can set up on your laptop or just do at home. I know Uverse doesn't have it, but I think Time Warner still has the on-demand workout videos that are fabulous. They still have it, because I used to do that when we had that. Allrecipes.com is one of my favorite recipe sites because it's reviewed. Thousands of people review the recipes. You can go to light and healthy. You don't even have to worry about anything else because it's already been screened to be low in calorie and low in fat. Eatright.org is Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics Professionals. We just changed our name. So if you're ever wanting to find a dietitian or look at some research information, this is more science-based. That's a good place. And then this isn't a website, but for label reading, for cereals and granola bars, our rules that we tell our families are less than 10 grams of sugar and at least 3 grams of fiber. So when you're looking at things like cereals and granola bars, because that's usually where I feel like you need to look at labels the most, look for those rules and keep in mind, probably if it has a cartoon character, not a good choice. Think of Cheerios, Kix, Special K, all of the Fiber Ones and all brands and Fiber Plus and all those. Those are going to work. For granola bars, the regular Special K bars, the Fiber One, the Fiber Plus, the low sugar Quaker Chewy bars, those are all good. And they say specifically for cereals and granola bars because you're not going to have labels on fruits and vegetables. Dairy, I just want you to do low fat or non-fat. Told you what to do about meat. And if you're going to have chips and cookies, don't worry about the label because it's a treat and you're going to enjoy it. And I would just eat a regular cookie because if it's low fat, then you're not really indulging. It's just gross and you're going to want something good later anyway. Now, roasted vegetables. This is just the most magical thing that came into my life a few years ago. It's so easy and so good. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Now, I don't like to clean, so I put a piece of foil on my cookie sheet and I don't have to clean it. Spray it with, I don't use Pam because it's more expensive. I use the Kroger brand, but whatever kind of cooking spray you like, spray it on there. Now, cut up your vegetables if they're fresh. Again, I'm lazy. I just buy like the frozen vegetables that you can steam them in the microwave, and I steam them first because I like mine soft. After they're steamed in the microwave, spread them out. But you can do fresh, you can do them from frozen, you can do whatever you want. I wouldn't do canned. I just never tried it. You can. Now, when your vegetables are on there, spray them again. Okay? Season them with salt or pepper, whatever else you like. If you had lemon pepper, garlic, I don't care. Like I said before, don't be afraid of salt. Okay? The salt that we add to our food accounts for about 5% of our intake in a day. The other 95% is from canned soups, lean cuisines, chips, Takis, McDonald's, whatever else. So putting some salt on your food, it's fine. It makes it taste better. That's what salt does. Okay? Put some salt on your food. Any other spices you like. Put it in the oven. Anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Usually at 400, about 30 minutes. They're going to come out kind of soft, kind of brown, kind of crusty. That brown means that the sugars that are in there have been caramelized. It's so delicious. I'm telling you, I would never eat cauliflower a day in my life. I could eat it every day, cooked like this. It is so good. We do zucchini, we do squash. I did whole okra the other day. I didn't even think there was any reason to eat okra if it wasn't fried. I'm telling you, if it's roasted, it is so good. So try this. Hopefully, if you don't like vegetables or if your kids don't like vegetables, this is the way that you maybe bridge that gap because I'm telling you, take my word for it, this is so much better than any other vegetable I've ever had. Now, I'm done. So I hope that I've inspired you, motivated you to figure out you can kind of eat whatever you want as long as you get your water in, get your good healthy foods in, slow down, get some exercise. That's kind of the point is we all just need to live and make things as easy on ourselves as possible. So what questions do y'all have?
I just have, let me make a comment. I teach some nutrition in my classes, and one of the things I'm going to start stressing too is that soft drinks are empty calories because they don't have any nutrition. It's just calories.
Yes. Now, this is actually, that's a really good point, and I tell people, calorie-free beverages, water, Crystal Light, whatever else. The only place it's okay to spend your calories on beverages is milk, okay, because milk has protein and calcium and vitamin D and potassium and riboflavin and so many things that we need. Sodas, there's just nothing. It's just not giving our body anything. Juices, parents will come to me and say, oh, but I get 100% fruit juice. Well, the problem there is juice does have some nutrition. It's not usually anything our kids are lacking, so it's not really filling any gaps. And because it's juice, it's liquid sugar. We drink it, it gets absorbed right away, the blood sugar goes up, and our bodies have to work really hard to bring it down. Supposedly, if you eat an orange or an apple or a handful of grapes, there's lots of fiber. It takes you time to chew it and swallow it. It has to get in your stomach. It has to be broken down. It takes time to get absorbed. You don't have that super big jump in blood sugar like you do when it's just liquid sugar going up through the stomach. Yeah.
What about these water? This water or just the weak water?
Perfect.
The water that has a little fruit?
It has, like a little bit of flavor in it.
Yeah.
It's probably fine.
Yeah.
Capri Sun has some little there's 0 calories in this. So it's kind of like having a little bit of Crystal Light. That's fine. Yeah, I'm putting a little flavor. I would say Crystal Light has, not Crystal Light, Capri Sun has like some roaring waters that are pretty low in calories. Those are okay. Squeezing some lemon or lime or orange in water is another good way. That's how I get my kid to drink it.
So really water, even for kids, because my daughter's 17 months and she's never had juice. She's never even had cow's milk. So
Okay.
water just all the way as long as as long as
What hasn't she had cow's milk?
Because I still breastfeed.
Okay, yeah, well, which is fantastic. So yeah, water, water, water. Now I will say that when he turned 2, he started kind of refusing some water. So now I squeeze an orange in it or a lemon or lime and he drinks it. So that's good. Good for you. Anything else? You guys were a very, very good audience. Thank you so much for your attention.